Wonderful. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Skin Collaborative. Today, we are doing our Clubhouse rerun for you, and we're talking about seasonal skin changes and spring skin. I'm joined by my wonderful panel. We've got Anna McCarthy-Birch from Milton Keynes. See if I can remember where everyone's from. Anita from somewhere near Basingstoke. No. Tower is definitely from somewhere in London as well. And Catherine is definitely from somewhere near Liverpool, and Nicolette's somewhere down south as well. That's my geography. They can correct me on this when they speak. So let's chat about spring skin. Who wants to kick us off? Tower, tell us what you're going to be advising your clients to do differently now we've got a bit of a change of season.
Okay, well, firstly, yes, I'm Tower. I'm from TD Aesthetics in Kent, not London, but close enough. So, spring skin. What happens to your skin as we emerge from winter, like butterflies coming out of our chrysalises, into the bright and lovely new weather of spring? Well, initially, my first thing that I would always tell clients is this is the perfect time to give your skin a detox. Basically, if you think about it, we've been not only sort of cocooned away in our homes over most of the winter because of the weather, but also we've got the added impetus of lockdown keeping us indoors for much longer than we would normally be. So we've been sat indoors with central heating on. That's been drying and dehydrating for our skin. So this is the best time now that we're coming out of that period and we're starting to get the green shoots of spring and the weather to match. This is the best time to do a detox on your skin, get rid of all those layers of dead skin cells and reveal the healthy skin that's beginning to come through. A little bit like the little buds coming through from spring to show you the lovely flowers of the summer. So what I would tell my clients and advise my clients to do is to look at products and treatments that will help to get a little bit more penetration in your skin and actually remove those dead skin layers from the top, from the surface of the skin. So things like skin peels, whether you do them at home or whether you wait until we all reopen and you come back into clinic and have a really lovely pampering treatment, a skin peel is the best way to reset your skin for spring going into the summer. I know my colleagues will talk about other things like SPFs and how you can protect your skin and how you can continue to hydrate your skin with an array of serums. But the first thing is to try and just kind of reset that skin level. So go for a skin peel, try and peel away those layers of dead skin cells. Remember your cell renewal cycle, the way that the dead skin cells are sloughed off the surface of the skin starts to slow down as we get older. So this is a really good way to help push that system along and make sure you're getting rid of those dead, dull, dry skin cells from the surface of your skin. That's my view.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much, Tower. And it's so lovely to have you on here because you're an Android user. So we can't get you on Clubhouse. So thank you so much for popping up today. Fountain of knowledge. So you touched a little bit on SPFs, and I know we are like Team SPF. I always say if we bring out a product, the first thing we're going to do is an SPF. Anna, I know you're really passionate about this. Well, we all are. But what would you advise about SPFs? What can people use?
Great, thank you, Sam. Hi, I'm Anna. I have a beauty and skin clinic in Milton Keynes called McCarthy Beauty Clinic. What we use in my clinic, we do have a mineral makeup range. It is a professional range. What you'll be looking for is a mineral makeup range that has high levels of zinc or titanium oxide. What's fantastic about these is they have a high level of SPF protection in them, but with the added bonus of being in powder form. So they're very, very finely milled minerals, and they come into powder form, which you literally dust onto the face or the body, wherever you need the protection. You can actually swim once you've applied this for at least 40 minutes, before you need to consider reapplying. But what's amazing about that is if you have an issue with applying a cream or a lotion SPF and it feels cloggy or heavy or sticky, maybe if you're working outdoors or you're running outdoors, you're working up a sweat, and then you start to feel that you've got that sort of stickiness on your skin, it can run into the eyes. That's really uncomfortable. I think we've probably all experienced that at least once. So with the minerals, it's amazing because you can dust that all across the eye area, because the delicate skin around the eyes does need protecting as well, and that can sometimes be missed when we're like applying it everywhere else. You can dust the SPF powder everywhere and you will not get a heavy feeling, you will not get a stinging sensation anywhere, but you do get that high level of protection. So that's just a little tip if you do find that you are conscious about wanting to protect your skin, and with the ozone layer being at its thinnest at this time of year, you need to start stepping up the level of SPF. SPF, like Sam said, we are a bit obsessed on this in this collaborative. All year round, you've got to be looking to use an SPF to get your skin protected all the time. But now more than ever, this is a great time to be stepping it up or starting to include it if you don't already. And there are options if you are finding that you want to protect your skin, but you avoid it because you're a bit like, oh, I'm going to get into a mess, or you work outdoors and you know that you're going to have dust sticking to you and things like that. The powder SPF is the perfect alternative for that. So yeah, we bang on about it all the time, but SPF all the way, protect your skin.
Absolutely. And because you said the ozone layer is thinner at the moment, what would that mean for someone's skin then if they didn't use SPF? Like why is it so important? Let's just go a little bit deeper into that.
So I think what we've all probably had personal experience of this as well, but do you know when you find you get those first couple of days where it's quite sunny and it's quite pleasant, and then you go out and you start to notice that people have got bright red shoulders and strap marks and, you know, burnt faces, and that's because they are going to burn so much quicker at this time of year because the ozone layer is at its thinnest and the protection just isn't there, and it creeps up on us, so we're not really aware of it. So you may even be thinking, oh, it's quite a pleasant day today, I'm going to sit out and enjoy it, and you might even put a little bit of sun protection factor on, but you have to reapply. That has to be considered. It's no good going out in the day and going, oh yeah, I'll just pop a bit here and then I'm protected for the rest of the day. You need to be reapplying. You need to be conscious of how many hours you are sitting in the direct sunlight, and that is why people get burnt just so quickly before they even know it. Strangely, even quicker at this time of year than in the summer months. So yeah, really, really important.
Yeah. Team SPF. What other ingredients are we looking to use at this time of year? Kath, what are your favourite spring ingredients?
Oh, well, just following on from what Anna said, I absolutely love vitamin C. I think it's amazing. Vitamin C actually neutralizes free radicals. So when the sun does hit us, if we've got vitamin C on our skin, again, that is just an extra bit of protection as well as the SPF that we use. It's a bit like the game Pac-Man. So the vitamin C actually just like kind of eats away at all the free radicals, so it doesn't get a chance to actually you know, go into our cells and damage them. So I really love vitamin C. It also brightens the skin, and it also stops post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. I tend to get a kind of little bit of a shadow on the top of my lip, especially in the sun. So I know if I use vitamin C on a daily basis, I am actually going to kind of prevent this from happening. So that's another reason why I love vitamin C. It's not for everybody, but it is for most people. So I do advise you to go and see a skin specialist for them to prescribe vitamin C for your skin type and your skin needs, because they do actually come in various different strengths as well. So obviously you need the correct strength for your skin. So yeah, that's what I'd like to talk a little bit about with vitamin C.
You know, with the top lip thing, really interestingly, if you think about it, you know, when you sweat, you do that, don't you? You wipe your top lip, and that is what's happening, is you are wiping off your SPF off your top lips. It's why it's so important, one, to not try and touch your face, maybe just dab like a lady, but also just to keep reapplying it if you have got sunlight, because it will, you know, help your pigmentation. Happens on holiday a lot with my mother. She has a very pigmented top lip.
With the vitamin, oh sorry, I was just going to say, with the vitamin C serum as well, it's really important that you put it all over your skin, a bit like the SPF, because it won't work in the places where you haven't actually bobbed it on your skin. So that's just another little tip as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Coolio. Right, Nicolette, what well, we talked about this before, and we're both hay fever sufferers. In fact, you're like Mrs. Allergic, aren't you? So what can we do differently, or what can we do to help kind of the problems we get around our eyes and stuff like that?
So hi, first of all, my name is Nicolette. I have a beauty salon and I specialize in skincare in Northwood Hills. And yes, Sam, as you just said it, I am the queen of allergies. Literally everything going out there, bet you on it, I've got it. But hay fever is a really tricky one, because people always think, you know, if I pop an antihistamine, it would just be better. But actually, again, going back a little bit onto SPF as well, it's really important that whatever you're putting on your skin has that element as well to protect you against pollution. And also, I find, since I'm using special ingredients, my hay fever on my skin doesn't show as much. I used to suffer with a lot of redness, itching, sensitivity, and also reflecting back again to the SPF, because we love SPF, it's the sun damage as well that can cause further sensitization in the skin. So it's not just the aging element of it, or like how Kath was saying, you know, vitamin C is huge. It's really important for the repair element of your skin. And also, as you hit on this as well, Sam, with hay fever, I always think to make sure that my defense system, my defense mechanism in my skin is absolutely up to scratch. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the skin barrier, because that's my favorite subject. As you know, I have a really funny analogy on it, explaining it to my clients. So, you know, we use big fancy words like transepidermal water loss and things like that. And I understand as a therapist, but my clients don't necessarily know what I'm talking about. So what I like to explain to them is, imagine your skin barrier as a brick wall. Your skin cells will be the bricks, and the cement would be the transepidermal water that you need for the bricks to kind of stay there. Now, you know, if you want to have a sturdy wall, you need the bricks to be solid, and you also need the cement to be permanent, like really there, not just little bits of it. As we start to age, this cement starts to wear, and you know what happens to a weak brick wall, things can enter and things can leave. It's a bit like having a drunk doorman in a nightclub, you know, like they are not going to be able to manage who's going in and what's happening inside. It's a little bit like that in your skin as well. But all these lovely ingredients that Kat mentions as well, and Anna was talking about the mineral SPF, they are all well and done. But if your barrier function is not doing the job to protect you, those lovely ingredients can actually cause a mayhem. A bit like, you know, a naughty child in a kindergarten with like retinol and vitamin C, they're not going to behave themselves. So it's really important we look at companies that are actually using delivery systems so that they can get there safely, effectively, and they can actually do the job that we need them to do, is to make sure that our skin can protect us further.
How would someone know if they've got an impaired barrier? What would that look like for them on their skin?
So it's a really good question, Sam, and I'm glad you asked, because so many people don't know it. So the very obvious signs is redness, right? If you see red, anger, alert, I always think of it. So we forget that we don't as therapists, but as normal people, we forget that our skin is the largest organ. And after your brain, I'm going to make this statement, I might be wrong, but I actually think my skin is the second most intelligent organ in my body, because it communicates with all the other systems. So it works alongside with your immune system. So the minute you have a little bit of infection, you can see it on your skin. When you have a histamine reaction, the first thing you're going to see is blotchy skin, redness. So your skin is really trying to tell you and help you to tell you what you actually need to do if you just listen to it. So impaired barrier, we can get itching, redness, Also, you can start to see dilated capillaries. You can start to see lines and wrinkles, but those are like the further damage. But the first sign to look out for is obvious dehydration, redness, and sensitivity. Itching goes alongside with that as well.
Thank you. And it all starts with the barrier, doesn't it? There's no point shoving ingredients on your skin if your barrier's messed up. Anita, let's go to you. What advice have you got on spring or seasonal skin?
Oh, hi Sam, thank you. Can you hear me? Because I know there's a few little technical difficulties. So, Anita, I have a salon in Buckinghamshire, not Basingstoke, but it doesn't matter. And I agree with everyone else in the collaborative that is talking today. I'm a real back to basics type of girl, and I like to have, or when we can open our clients in and do a reset on your step into spring with your skin, reset your skin. A lot of people are using the Old Faithful products, especially through lockdown and with all of the like Mask Me and all the things that we covered previously, and show them how they should be using all their products successfully, so that when they do come into the salon and they are having regular facials, as they always have and hope to, then their skin is going to be in tip-top condition. As we come out of winter, then obviously their skin is suffering from not only the central heating, the log fires, it's the wind, the rain, just the changes in temperature, the extreme from hot to cold, and this has really quite damaging effects on the skin. So again, with what Nicolette has said about keeping that skin barrier stable, and so that whatever you are putting on your skin, and also serums, but I think Tara is going to talk about serums. Is that correct? About how layering the serums. So I'll over to you, Tara.
You're not muted. Oh, there you go.
I've just got to unmute myself. Can you all hear me now? Good. Yes. So thanks, Anita. That's a really nice segue actually into starting to talk about, once you've reset your skin with a treatment like a peel, as we were talking about earlier, you then need to think about how you're going to nourish your skin with serums. And I know my colleagues have just kind of talked about in part some of the serums that you could use, things like vitamin C, which we've talked about in depth. I don't need to go into that too much more now. But another serum that you need to use, bearing in mind that we talked about how the skin would have been dehydrated and quite desiccated after the winter months, will be something with hyaluronic acid in it. So using hyaluronic acid is definitely needed at this time of year, especially if you've had a sort of reset and detoxing treatment like a peel. Hyaluronic acid is a molecule that we all make in our skin, but our production of it just kind of tails off, like most other things, as we get older as well. So hyaluronic acid helps to maintain the cement that Nicolette was talking about in that brick wall that's your barrier, because it helps to keep the cells together. It helps to keep the cells functioning. Hyaluronic acid is hydrophilic as well. And what that means in layman's terms is it basically attracts water molecules. So each molecule of hyaluronic acid will attract up to 1,000 molecules of water to it. So drinking lots of water at this time of year is absolutely required, because not only is it good for your organs internally throughout your body, but it also helps to maintain your skin function and helps your skin retain that plumpness and that softness that you want coming out into the spring. Also, bearing in mind the climate's changing as well, so drinking lots of water is going to be beneficial to you in more than one way, not just for your skin, but for your body as a whole. So things like hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, soothing ingredients like niacinamide, and allantoin are also really good ones to look out for in serums for this time of year. And you can actually layer your serums, bearing in mind you don't want to overload the skin. So talking to a skincare professional is the best way to work out a bespoke package for you that will address your specific skincare problems. Each person is individual, so no two people will require the same skincare prescription. And that's why going to your local Boots counter probably won't cut it. You need to talk to someone who's an expert, who can look at your skin, assess it properly, and tell you exactly what you need to address your concerns. Okay?
Amen. And also hyaluronic acid on that subject as well. I think we need to really stress that not every hyaluronic acid you buy off the shelf is going to do anything. Most of them just sit on the skin and kind of evaporate and then they're gone. So it needs to be a low molecular weight or a very low molecular weight to be able to travel deep into the skin. So spring. We're going to spring clean our houses, possibly. Well, we've been doing that through this lockdown, haven't we? I've sorted out that many cupboards. It's like sleeping with the enemy. But what about our skincare? Are we going to spring clean our skincare? Is there anything we need to put to one side? Do we need to look at, what do we need to look at? Who's going to say that? Anita?
I'll unmute myself again. Yes, because a lot of people use certain products through the different seasons, and they may have put them in the cupboard, so when they bring them out they need to check that they haven't gone out of date, because we all know that once we open a really good product, then it has a very limited shelf life on it. I know the products that I sell have they have a symbol on it, and I explain to people how they can check. And also, more important, well, not just as important, makeup brushes. Please, please, please wash your makeup brushes on a regular basis, because the bacteria that collects in your makeup brushes is unbelievable. That is really, really important. There's, we can have this gorgeous skin, but if you're not, you're putting makeup on daily, even if you aren't going out, a lot of people still like to dress up throughout lockdown, and if you're using your makeup brushes daily, they should be cleaned every week. Well, that's my take on that.
Well, hopefully when we come out of lockdown, well, when we open, it's when the restaurants open. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but I'm absolutely fuming because my friend was like, should we go out for dinner? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be knackered. My legs hurt last time I came back to work. But hopefully everyone will be whipping out their makeup again, because I know, like, I've hardly worn any during lockdown. So it'll be a good excuse. So yeah, get those makeup brushes washed. Antibacterial shampoo is a good one. What about vitamin D? How are we feeling about vitamin D coming out? Well, going into spring. Is it something that you're advising people to supplement on? Anyone want to take this?
I'm happy to talk about vitamin D. So vitamin D is actually, it's slightly controversial, particularly for people of colour, namely because there's a lot of conjecture about how much vitamin D people actually need and who needs to supplement their diet with a vitamin D supplement. There's lots of fallacies about whether or not people of colour need extra vitamin D and how much extra they would need. Vitamin D basically, for people who are darker skinned, so using a Fitzpatrick scale, which is a scale of skin assessment that a lot of skin therapists use, from 1 to 6, numbers 5 and 6 typically are for people of darker skin tones. So I would be, for example, classed as a 6. Sam might be classed as a 2 or 3. So just to give you a vision of the scale. So people who are more 5 and 6 are advised to have more vitamin D, because the amount of melanin in our skins means that we can sometimes inhibit absorption of vitamin D. That people with slightly paler skins, not to be said in a derogatory way, of course, but people with less melanin in their skin don't have that same issue. So I would say typically most people don't need to add extra vitamin D to their diet as we're going into the summer months. But throughout the winter, I would say, yes, you would probably need to have a little bit of vitamin D supplementation. For people with darker skin colors, then you would probably want to have a little bit of extra vitamin D across the winter months. But I don't tend to advise people to supplement vitamin D into their diets throughout the spring and summer months. Vitamin D can't be stored by the body, so it's just excreted. Any waste vitamin D that isn't immediately used is just excreted. So if you're using a supplement of vitamin D when your body can't store it and you're getting enough from sunshine throughout the spring and summer months, you're basically just eating it to poo it out. So it doesn't really make any sense to do that. But certainly throughout the winter months, I would advise people, certainly people of color, to use a little bit of extra vitamin D in their diets. And again, talk to a skincare specialist or a nutritionist, because not all vitamin D supplements are the same. Some of them are not immediately bioavailable. So that means when you take them in orally, they just get digested and excreted. They don't actually get absorbed. So make sure that the vitamin D supplementations that you use are bioavailable so that your body can actually use them. And don't overdo it, because it will just get excreted. All the excess will get excreted anyway. Your body has no capacity to store vitamin D. So it's not a question of like a hamster storing nuts away for the winter. You can't do that with vitamin D. You basically use what you need and the rest gets chucked away. So I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, massively helpful. I think when Kat was on the Clubhouse as well, I think she said we can get vitamin D from mushrooms, which is an interesting one. Who knew? Good old mushroom would have vitamin D in it. Right, so we've chatted about SPF, we've chatted about vitamin D, we've done spring cleaning, skincare, a wardrobe of serums. What other things are we going to advise our clients to do when we're coming into spring, or also when we're coming out of lockdown?
I can take that if you want. I mean, these are sort of, I don't want to sound like mum here, but this is quite important. When you're sort of donning your shades, the sunny weather's arriving, it's lovely as a fashion accessory, and I've got plenty of pairs of sunglasses myself, but do make sure that they are UV certified. It doesn't matter how dark the lens is, it's whether they've got the level of UV filtration in them. It's really, really important for the protection of your eyes, but for the protection of the delicate skin around the eye as well, which is so, like we've talked about, the delicate skin on the top lip that is so prone to pigmentation. It's so easy, if you think about the sun, to be sort of hitting here and just causing that pigmentation underneath the eyes as well. So your sunglasses will help you to protect those areas. So really, really important. And just a little touch on allergies. A really good tip, if you do find that you get outside and within 10-20 minutes you're streaming and you're getting that allergic reaction, that hay fever reaction, some Vaseline around the nostrils is really, really helpful to stop that pollen getting in to the areas that are going to then start to have the attack, if you like. So that's quite a good couple of tips there.
I'm going to add to that, nose waxing. It's the future. Who here, actually, hands up, who's tried having the nose waxed? Yes. Anita and Tower, you are missing out big time. Honestly, it's phenomenal. Number one, it doesn't hurt, which everyone thinks it does, because one hair is like the worst thing in the world, but a whole clump it feels like a pull. It's very strange. But just taking the hairs from the entrance of the nostril, I find really helps me with my hay fever. They're there to kind of catch as a filtration. So taking them away means it doesn't catch as easy. So I bet if you had a nose wax and did the Vaseline as well, it would be really good. But yeah, everyone should get their nostrils waxed. There we go. Right. So, Nikki, what can people do at home until the salon's open, until we come back? What can they do?
Right. I'm actually advising my clients on their mental health, on their well-being, and also some additional therapeutic methods for home. So first of all, just very quickly in terms of mental health and also stress in your skin, I don't know if you guys realized how much more time we're spending on our screens now. So we're looking at our phones, we're on the laptop, we're always on the computer, right? Because we are living in this crazy sort of digital world, and we are getting all those blue and red LED light as well through. But Blue light, it's actually been a study that a research has shown that after you're switching off your phone at night, your skin cells actually stay awake for 6 hours afterwards. So I don't know if any of you knew this, but if you think about it, but us therapists always advise our clients to drink well, to have lots of rest. And why do we do that? Tawa mentioned we need the hydration, but also we need the sleep so that our bodies, like skin cells as well, can regenerate itself. It can repair. Now, you know full well, if you had a really bad night's sleep, you wake up tired the next day and then you're going to look a bit for it as well. Now, imagine your skin in the long run going through this, that say you shut off your phone at 10 o'clock at night, effectively for your human growth hormone, you should be asleep between 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. So that's the best regeneration process that you can go through. So imagine you shut your phone off at 10 o'clock, you go to bed by 11 o'clock, your skin cells are still awake till early hours in the morning. So by the time you actually wake up, your skin cells only had a window of 2 to 3 hours to repair, to do all the work. So no wonder why we start to see the aging signs, especially around the eyes. And coming on to this, the other thing I always recommend my clients is detoxification and lymphatic drainage. So especially with allergy sufferers like myself, I always get puffy eyes. I always get dry eyes and sore eyes. And, you know, I don't need to go on. I think you get the gist of it. So I've fallen in love with gua sha and also the roller. Obviously, making sure it's a genuine one because you don't want to be cutting the skin or pulling it too rough. But it's a really lovely, soothing, therapeutic way of getting your products in as well as getting rid of that toxic around the eye area as well.
Me myself. And I've actually requested that we do a gua sha along one evening. So hopefully that's going to fit into the schedule. I think that'd be dead fun. We could all be like that on the screen together. So I think we're gonna close it off soon because we want to keep this nice and short and snappy. So I would like to finish with a top tip, either something that you're going to do for yourself, for your skin, or something that you always advise your clients. I'm going to start with mine, and mine is to up my melanin suppressors because I do suffer a little bit from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and I do still get the odd blemish. And I do get pigment when it comes into spring and summer, even though I wear my SPF religiously every day. I even wear it now when I'm indoors next to a window. So that is my thing, that with my wardrobe of serums that I've got, I reach for my melanin suppressors. That's mine. Who wants to go next?
I don't mind going next. Sorry, jumping in there. Just quickly, I'm just looking at the comments as well that are coming in, and going back to the vitamin D, Shabana, who's also one of the collaborative members, has said that too much vitamin D can cause kidney infections. So that's another good point for vitamin D. So just to touch on that for people who've maybe not seen the comments. And also, so my top tip is I like to use a eye mask, a gel eye mask for hay fever sufferers and sitting in front of a computer screen. I have an amazing eye mask, no names are mentioned, and it really does. It helps with, keep it in the fridge, it helps with the runny eyes that Nicolette was talking about and the puffiness, and it's just wonderful. So I introduced that for my skincare routine.
I know what it is. I just worked it out. I used to work with the brand that you have, and I just remembered, and I remembered how good it was. And I've just put in the comments, can I order one, please? Tawa.
Yes. Can you guys hear me okay? Brilliant. Because everyone's just gone really quiet. Yes, I have, my top tip would be, if you can't get to a clinic, obviously, because we're in lockdown and you don't have the products to do a peel at home, then just a daily chemical exfoliation using products that contain lactic acid or glycolic acid, a mild version that you can use safely at home, just to again strip away those dead skin cells from the surface of the skin and help your serums and other products penetrate better. So using something almost like a toner, but an exfoliating chemical toner would really help your skin and give you back that glow after the dull, dry skin of winter. So that would be my top tip.
but please don't go and buy the really popular one that's out in shops that begins with a P. Come and see us about it. Let me just add to that. Right, who's next? Anna.
So I would follow on from that with exfoliating your face, but don't forget about your body. Give your body a good scrub. We potentially are going to be baring our arms and legs. Imagine if in the next couple of weeks the weather shines on us and we get some really warm temperatures. Please be aware of your SPF, as I say, about jumping straight out there and exposing your body, or do what I do, fake it. Fake tan is amazing these days, particularly the professional ones, because they are just, nobody would ever know it's a fake tan. They would just think that you've just got gorgeous golden skin. So yeah, please. And if you do get a fake tan, the key is to do a really, really good scrub beforehand. So that would be my advice if you're thinking about bearing all. So let's hope we get some good weather to do that soon enough.
Well, it's sunny here. It's sunny in Manchester, which is very odd. Let me tell you, it's normally raining. Kath, what is your top tip?
I think exfoliate, hydrate, and protect. I think they're my 3 top tips.
Thank you. And Nicolette?
My top tip would be is a little bit what we said. Just go and see a professional and see what your skin actually needs, because it's all well and done. We talk about ingredients and things like that. I know that many of you are cherry pickers, which means that you are mixing your products as well, which is not always the safest way to do, because, you know, they might not work together. So just wait, or actually don't wait. Most of us are able to do online consultations. Just go and see your professional that's nearer to you. I'm not selling myself here by all means, but just see whoever's near your town, talk to them about your skin and let them help you, because you would do exactly the same thing if this was any other organ in your body. So just do the right thing for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just, well, the reason we came together, I don't know if anyone knows our story, but we were just so frustrated with the general public being fed so much misinformation through either marketing campaigns by certain brands or influencers saying they use stuff when they definitely don't. And just people buying ineffective products and wasting their money. So this is why we came together, to educate the public around all things skin. I have to read a comment that's in the thing. Sam's great at tans. Thank you so much, Judith. I've tanned her family for about 5 different weddings, I think. So we're going to wrap up. I'm going to tell you what our topic is for next week. Well, this is one we've been building up to, I think, isn't it, girls? So we're talking about cosmetic versus cosmeceutical, medical grade, whatever you want to call it, active skincare. But basically, we're going to be explaining why drugstore, sounds very American, didn't it? Chemist brands, cosmetic counter brands, supermarket brands are not effective, and what you need to be using instead to actually make some fundamental changes to your skin. So we're going to be on Clubhouse at 7 p.m. on Friday, and then we will be doing a rerun here at 11:30 every Monday. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.